Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. We are doing some Daytona races. It's an open session and we are starting from the pit lane. I did do qualifying and I would have started in second place, I think. So pretty awful showing from me, but I had decided before the race, hey, I'm going to start from the pits. So we're going to be at the very back. We'll see how this one goes. Apologies, I also have a bit of a cough. We're going to wait for everyone to go through as the lovely Jimi Hendrix will hold us in the pit lane. Also, one of the kart testers is Jimmy, very quick driver. And out of the pits we go. So lap 1 in this 40-minute race. I needed it to be long because, well, there were some quick drivers, hence why I wasn't able to easily put it on pole. This was also my very first ever race in the SODI cars, and there's already a big incident. We can't overtake this guy. We would have, but it's a yellow flag, and he's going so slowly, which is probably why he qualified in last, or her. So yeah, we're like, what are we going to do? Let's just go around the outside of this person through the corner. And you can see how far away everyone has pulled. And when you start from the back, every single moment matters so much. So something like that cost me about 5 seconds could be the difference between me winning this race and, well, me not winning this race. So you need to get past everyone as quickly as possible. You cannot hold back. So as we head down here, I'm going to go up on the curb, down the inside into turn 8. In case anyone is wondering what my karting experience is, if this is the first video you have ever seen on my YouTube channel, I am a very experienced karter, technically semi-professional, but I race in the Club 100 Championship, I race in the British Pro Kart Endurance Championship. I'm also doing a bit of kart racing this season, and I'm racing in the Kart Race of Champions as well. So a lot of experience karting and relatively good. Not so much in SODI karts, more in the 2-stroke karts, but I thought I needed to try out these 4-stroke mobiles. We've got a spinner through the Fenton chicane. I also do the commentary here at Daytona Milton Keynes, so I know the circuit quite well, even if I don't know it that well driving it myself. And we're going to go up the inside, and we actually go on 2 wheels. I don't know, if you go back you can really see the car just thud down because yeah, and I actually got scared a few times when I did that because I actually thought I was going to topple the car. So next time I go to Milton Keynes, I'll try to topple the car, guys. I'll see if I can break my collarbone. Would make for some good content on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, although to be honest, knowing my luck, I'd probably only get about 100 views on them. So we're heading down the hill. We're already up to P28. We've gained a few more places and we can see a big train of cars. Now I love trains. This is the railway straight. You can see on the right hand side of your screen there's a train line there. So let's see if we can overtake, as a guy on the right is trying to be a bit of a cowboy. Let's show him how we well and truly cowboy people. We're going to go around the outside on the brakes. That guy spun. They're going to go to the outside, so we go to the inside. It's not overtaking under yellows if we go the other way past a spun car. So again, this is just one of those things. You have to be super quick to think when you're karting and you're going past back markers or people have spun, and you always have to think what's the best way of doing stuff. We send it up the inside. I'm not dilly-dallying around. A little bit of a sketchy move. I poke to the outside, going to send it up the inside. We get fully alongside, and by the apex we let the car run out on corner exit, and we absolutely nail it. So again, just going to keep on working through because I can see the leaders. I had an idea of who the leaders were. There were these 2 chaps with white helmets, so I was keeping my eye out for where the white helmets were out on circuit and trying to visualize how much I was catching. We do miss the apex through that left-hander, and now I'm thinking, right, I'm going to go up the inside of this person into turn 8 if I'm close enough. We are, no we're not, we're just going to sit behind. I also don't want to get a black flag, so it's important to be quick to get through the field, but it's also important to, you know, not get black flags. This person though is a bit lighter than me, so you can see them pulling away from me on the straight. We're just going to tuck back in behind. Also, if anyone was in this race, because I know a few people thought I got like a rocket ship car, there's your evidence that I don't have a rocket ship, because I was behind that guy. I got a better exit than him, but because he's lighter, he's able to pull away. So that's something else to bear in mind. It's not a standardized weight. There'll be some people here who are 90 kilos. There'll be people like me who are 75 kilos. There'll be juniors who are 55 kilos. So you have to be ready to deal with all of that. We're going to send it up the inside of one, make sure we don't go into the back of the other guy, and we do still get a decent run nonetheless. So we're going to send it up the inside with my favorite move, the 2-wheel, the almost topple over That guy is alongside, and we get ahead, and we're able to move back over to the outside, heading into the carousel, as I like to call it. There's a yellow flag. That's the other thing that was really frustrating. You get loads of yellow flags in kart racing, not quite as much when you do, you know, team sport and all of that rubbish. But you do still get yellow flags, and the difficult thing with yellow flags is you have to go really slowly behind the person in front of you. So we just have to sit behind this guy. We get the run though out of the corner onto the straight, and we get past them. But it's just so frustrating because you know that the leaders might be in clear air. You're stuck behind a back marker, losing time. So the leaders are going through turn 1 around about now, but I wasn't significantly catching up to them, which was the worrying thing. And you can see how much of a gap there is right now from me to everyone else. So I'm not sure what position I am in. I think, there we go, P14. So we're not even in the top 10. We've done 4 laps. We've gone from 32nd to 14th. It has taken us this long, and I was getting worried, I'm not going to lie. I didn't qualify on pole. I didn't put in a particularly good lap in qualifying because of how it is, and I was still learning the car. I still haven't figured out how on earth to drive these godforsaken SODIs. They are faster than the N35s, but they handle like an absolute boat, and I still hate them. So, yeah, sorry if anyone from SODI is listening to this. Please change your karts so they actually handle like go-karts instead of boats. Thank you. Anyway, let's be honest, no one from SODI is going to see this. We're going to have a little finger flex. Always good in long races, just to flex your fingers around so that they don't get cramps and you don't get stiff. A little bit wide through that corner. Now, I was commentating on some of the SODI races earlier on in the day. This was on Saturday. And I noticed that the fastest lap was a 13.8. And I did want to get there, but I figured maybe I'm a bit heavier, so I'll be in the 14s. To be honest, I wasn't that much heavier because the lightweight bottom, or the weight limit for the lightweight is 70 kilos, and I was probably, about 75 kilos. So, to be honest, I should have been able to get into the low 14s, but my fastest lap was only a 14.8, which weirdly isn't this lap, although this is a fairly decent lap. So we'll just take a look at how it is. I think one of the biggest issues I had with the SODIs is when you throw the kart into a corner, the back end just judders about because there's actually just too much grip on the car. So there's too much grip on the rear end. The rears need to be knocked out, or the fronts need to be knocked in. I can't remember how it works, but grip needs to be taken away so that the wheel can rise. It's too heavy, and as a result it judders around. So I don't know if the quickest way is to throw it in, which is what I was doing because that's what you do in 2 strokes, or if it's just to be a bit smoother so that you don't slide as much. But again, the only way I can do that is by doing a few more sessions and then just figuring out where the pace is, because I know in the old 4 strokes at Daytona Milton Keynes I was very quick. But as you can see, we are catching up to this group of drivers, and the leaders have just gone into turn 1 again, so we're sitting about 15 or so seconds behind them. We're not that far back, but again, we're running out of time, and I know we're only 6 laps into this 32 lap race, but I am well aware that we are running out of time. We get a decent run, and I'm thinking, okay, can I send it into turn 1? Absolutely can. Or sorry, turn 2. That guy then goes wide despite not carrying any speed into the corner, so we'll overtake him as well. Why not? And you can see that I'm having this little play with the steering wheel every now and then. So you'll just see I'll turn into the corner, and then I'll just turn out of the corner slightly just to straighten up the kart, just to keep it a little bit smooth, and so that I can get the power down. So particularly in turn 2, I'll do that because I pretty much go flat out into that second corner, maybe a little lift. Back in the old N35 karts, it was pretty much flat, maybe a tiny lift. And now we're closing up to Mr. Blue Suit, or is it Miss Blue Suit? I'm not sure. And we're just going to get a really nice run. We're going to pull out the slipstream, shimmy our bum forward, and get a nice drive up the hill. There is a yellow flag, I think. No, there isn't a yellow flag. So we are ahead, and through into Cuba Curve, as I like to call it, we'll go. And every time I'm closing into a back marker, I'm just thinking, right, do I go for a sin? Do I go for some ridiculous overtake? But I know that I have to be fast. I've got to be efficient getting through back markers. I don't need to get penalties. So we'll just sit behind for a couple of corners. This guy isn't too slow, to be fair to them, but I know that they're going to hold me up into here, so I'm just going to send it. Late move. They do leave me space. In fairness, I thought that guy would pull to the right earlier. He doesn't, and now I'm thinking, oh, bloody hell, what am I going to do? I tried to go to the left, I then tried to go to the center, and then I go into his back. He then just goes completely wide, so we're going to go up the inside. But that is probably the most I struggled to overtake someone in that race. Yeah, again, he got a bad run. That completely caught me off guard, and I just didn't react in time on what to do. So you can see on the lap time, 17.7 instead of what would have probably been a 15.7 at worst. So we lost 2 seconds as a result of that. 2 seconds! But now we're catching up to this group that goes all the way up to, I think it's 5th place. So P13 or P12, P11, all the way up to P8. We'll see what position we're in at the end of this lap. And we are closing in. They spin, and we're going to go to the outside. They don't know how to press the brake. That's a big tip for you guys. When you spin, press the brake so you don't roll across the circuit like that and almost take someone out. I saw it coming, so I left extra room, but he rolled back a little bit more than I was expecting. We go for a nice switchback, and into turn 2 we'll gain another position. So we started this lap in 11th place, and I think with that we will be probably up to about 8th position, I want to say. We'll see when we come over the line. But again, it's been a relatively slow race, and as I was saying, I've never driven in these SODIs before. I have driven in the N35s. I thought the SODIs were going to be like god awful, like the worst thing to happen since mayonnaise was created, but they weren't as bad as I thought. They were faster in a straight line than I expected, and because they handle like boats and they handle like a dog's vomit on top of a cat's poo, as a result of that, I can see myself having fun battles with someone, because neither of us know how on earth to drive these things, because, well, we're driving boats on tarmac. By the way, Sodi, if you guys are here, I know I said you probably aren't, your carts handle like boats. Can you please fix them? Anyway, we're going to go through the final corner. To be fair though, I have had some SODIs that do handle quite well. I think when I was at Genk, they've got SODIs there, and that was actually quite fun. So maybe it's just a kart track combination. I won't slander SODI anymore. Also, SODI, can you put some actual steering wheels on your carts, not whatever these godforsaken things are? It's not a Formula 1 car. And the steering wheel, so when you have these steering wheels, the F1 style steering wheels, you need them to come out like vertically at you, not diagonal or horizontal like a lorry. So it's really weird holding like an open wheel steering wheel, but it's not facing you, because it's just wrong. It needs to be circular. It feels better, and you can push, and I don't know, I feel it's a lot nicer. Or maybe I need to do the Dante Dillon style. Either way, there is a big yellow flag. We're going to try to get the run on this guy, but then I realize that the yellow flag continues all the way down the straight, so we're going to have to sit behind. And this is the group that goes all the way up to, it's I think 5th or 4th, I can't quite remember which. So we're just going to have to sit in this train of carts. I'm waiting for the yellow flag to disappear. There's the yellow flag gone. We're immediately going to go up the inside of one guy, and now we can try to work our way into the top 10. These guys are all being slow, so we're just going to send it up the inside. One person's going to go into the pits, and now I'm seeing these guys battling just a tiny bit. So that guy's going to try to squeeze his nose up my inside. I don't care. Everyone backs off under the yellow flag way too much. We passed the incident, so hey, we're going to go around the outside. The guy on my inside tried to complain, but we've already passed the yellow, or we've passed the incident, so we can go racing. Back onto the power we go, and then into this right-hander. We've gone from P8 up to P5, and now it is P4 left. So we've got into the top 5. It's taken us 11 laps, so it's taken us about, well, nearly 20 minutes, about 16 or so minutes, which is a good chunk of time. It has taken us a long time to get up to this point, and I know that the leaders are still fairly far away, but we don't really have to worry about overtaking many more carts, any more drivers. We get a terrible run through turn 8, just a bit too wide, and it does massively compromise me. But we've worked our way up through the field. You can see the leaders going into the final corner, so we have caught them by about 5 or 6 seconds over the last few laps. You can see on the left hand side of your screen, at some point you'll see those two white helmets just flashing through, and those are the two leaders. So I was trying my best to keep an eye on where they were. It does say we're in P4, we're actually in P5. I didn't update this. He's going to send it up the inside into the chicane, and I'm thinking, okay, let's go for the move. He's going to go to the outside. We're going to send it up the inside. We have to catch the slide so we don't get a good run. As a result, he gets the switch back, but I've got the inside heading into this right-hander, and I don't have to go right up on the curb and, you know, almost flip my car over. I thought I got a bad run, so I just had a little check just to make sure he couldn't go up the inside into the carousel, and with that, we are up into 4th position. And at this point, it now took me absolutely ages to catch up to 3rd. So lap 12 we're on now, we were in 4th. We're going to skip forward to, I think, lap 18, because this is my fastest lap of the race. So let's run through a hot lap here at Milton Keynes. Completely flat through turn 1, kart all the way over to the right, pretty much flat, a tiny lift into turn 2, then turn 3, completely flat. Pull the kart back over to the right, jump on the brakes, try to turn the kart before you get to the chicane so you can get fully on the power without having to do any more steering. Into turn 5, you want to get that first apex. You can see that the kart's juddering too much, so that actually costs us probably about 2 or 3 tenths heading down the hill into this right-hander. It is flat into here. You can give a little lift because, again, you see that kart juddering. So if you had just lifted a bit, we probably could have actually carried more speed through the corner. It's one of those weird things. If you lift off, the kart doesn't judder, you carry more speed. Through turn 7, all about being smooth, completely flat through this kink, and then hard on to the brakes. Early on the power, carry the speed through the corner on to the back straight, and then do the old bum shuffle forward. Kick your bum forward or shuffle your bum forward, get nice and low down, have a little break before you go into this turn 9 Cuba curve. Completely flat through turn 9, onto the brakes again, get right up to that tyre barrier nice and early on the power. We can see where the leaders are, and now a dab on the brake, use up all of the concrete. You can take a wider line through there if you want, and then of course let the kart out. Our next lap wasn't particularly quick, but on lap 23, we finally catch up to 3rd position. One of the white helmets, and we can see on the left our 2 race leaders. And I knew, okay, right, we've got about 13 minutes remaining in this race. There is time. It's going to be really difficult, but there is time to catch up to those leaders. I need to gain by over half a second a lap on them, essentially. But first of all, we need to get past 30. He takes a very wide line in, so he'll get a little bit more speed on exit, but he just loses so much time on corner entry. Again, we're just catching that slide, not quite as smooth as the guy in front, but we get on the power earlier. So we're a little bit more raggedy than the driver ahead, but we are still fast. We get a really nice run out of the out of turn 8, and we do the old bum shuffle forward, as well as being a little bit lighter, means that we're able to get ahead before the yellow flag. So we're ahead of him before the yellow flag, which means that we can completely overtake. And there's a yellow flag, which means that the leaders have backed off. You can see the white helmets up the road. We're going to go up the inside into the final corner, and all of a sudden I'm now thinking, you know what, I can win this race. Before I was thinking this is going to be really, really tough, because they were, well, I thought nearly 10 seconds up the road. Because of these yellow flags, we have really closed into them with, well, less than 10 minutes to go. And I knew, right, I've got them. I can 100% win this race. That was a moment. Those yellow flags on that lap and the leaders being caught behind them and allowing me to gain about 5 or maybe more than 5 seconds is what is a big, big factor. We're going to go up the inside. We're making it 3 abreast. We don't care. We're going to make another one. 4 karts or 3 karts in one corner. I'll take that. And now there is no one between us and the leaders. So here we go. And the other thing is, I don't think they know that I'm catching them. So I am hunting them down, and they don't realize they're being hunted. This guy gets a bad run out of turn 8. I've got the slipstream. I know he's lighter than me, so I'm thinking, come on. You can see how much we were catching, and now we're catching up by a lot less because that weight is coming into play. We can squeeze our nose up the inside. We will take the lead. Just have to be careful that he doesn't try to send us into turn 10. He doesn't, and with that, we are up into 2nd position. Not too shabby at all, and a 15-0 despite overtaking 4 karts on that lap. Now we just have to hunt down the lead, and I'm thinking, right, how are we going to do this? Where are we going to gain on him? He gets caught behind the back marker. He doesn't know that I'm coming. He's going to go to the outside. We're going to send it up the inside, go all the way out on corner exit. We make the move work. The other guy gets the run on him, but we're able to cover him off going into this right-hander. And now I'm thinking, yes, we've done it. We're into the lead. But now is the most stressful part of this race, because remember when I said I'm heavier than them? I'm heavier than them, which means that they're going to gain on me through the straights, coming out of corners, and they have slipstream. I need to really get my head down and pull away. But the other thing is there's yellow flags. I need to lift for the yellow flags, and they can use those yellow flags to make sure that they catch back up to me. So it's so important for me to make sure that I nail every single big corner exit, like that one there, turn 8. I cannot let them get close to me. And as we come to the gantry, we'll have a little pause. Way they've put up on the digi flag Yusuf P1. Thank you very much for that. I think that was JP who put that one on. But yeah, we're up to first, and at this point it was just head down. They were able to somewhat keep up with me, and they were sticking with me. It was very stressful knowing that I'd caught them up so quickly, overtaken them. Well, it wasn't so quickly, but knowing that I'd caught them up, overtaken them, but then they were sticking to me, and I was thinking, oh god, they're going to get me on like the last lap of the race or something. There's going to be a yellow flag, I get caught behind a back marker, and they take advantage of it. Heading on to lap 28, there was this big group of back markers, and this is where I thought, okay, this is where I can take a huge advantage over them and use my experience to pull away. So I'm going to overtake both of them down into turn 8 and try to use that to get through. But the other guy gets past both of them as well, and I'm thinking, oh, for bloody hell, like, could you not sit behind them for a little bit so that I could pull away? But fortunately, there's still a couple more back markers to go. So I know that he's still behind me, and this guy has a spin, but I know that he's stuck in the barrier, so he can't roll back, so I can go very close to him. I'm thinking, which way is this guy going to go? Have to go up the inside. Right now, with those two behind me, I cannot afford to wait to overtake back markers. I cannot think I'll get them on the exit, because if I try to go for a switchback, they might send it up the inside, and even if they get a worse exit, they're lighter than me. So because they're lighter than me, even with a worse exit, I might not be able to get back past them. This guy has that moment, I'm thinking, what's he going to do? We opt to go for the outside. We do get past, and again, just trying to get past everyone as quickly as I can. I don't know what this guy is doing. He's going to go wide, but I'm committed. I'm like, right, we've got to go around the outside, and I can see Mr. White Helmet. He is still there. I think that is Mr. Tom Ventus, who has subscribed to the YouTube channel. Thank you, Tom. And now we're closing in onto 2 more back markers, and again, I'm thinking, right, how am I going to get past them? Decent run, poke our nose up the inside. He's seen me, he's turned his head, he's seen me, and there's a yellow flag. So I'm able to slow down, get a nice slow run into the corner, fast exit out, while I know that Tom and I think it's Jonas is stuck behind the back markers. Now 3 abreast going into this left-hander, and they are all stuck behind them. And now I know, okay, right, we've got through, we have broken free, we didn't get tagged going into the hairpin. Now I can get my head down, now they won't have slipstream on me, and we can just go and win this race with a few laps to go. And that is exactly how it played out. Moving on to the last lap of the race, we've caught up to another group of back markers, and ordinarily I think, oh, maybe they'll get back past me, but at this point we had about a 5-second lead or so. So we're just going to do our best. This guy really thought he could beat me. He goes to the inside, I go to the outside of the back marker. I'm just going to hang it around the outside, a tiny bit of contact. My fault, really. And then this guy spins, and I had a massive brown pants moment, but we dive on over to the inside. I kind of figured that he was going to roll backwards, but if he had caught me, I might have been taken out of the lead on the last lap of the race on the penultimate corner, which wouldn't have been very good. But with that, we take the race win, and yeah, an exciting SODI race. Also, I just need to say, you know, as I've said before, all good racing drivers, you need to get your excuses out of the way. Good drivers, not by how fast you are, it's how good your excuses are. So, number 1, never driven a SODI before. Number 2, starting from the pit lane. Number 3, I was fasting, so I was absolutely starving. I can't think of a number 4. Hey, we give a nice little fist bump to end the race. Mr. Weird Sunglasses was a bit unhappy about something. I don't know what. Should just get better. Okay. Right, so yeah, I think he said that I turned across him on a straight or something. Twice I overtook him, and then I cut across him, and then he blamed me of blocking. I'm like, bruv, I'm overtaking you, I'm not blocking you. But anyway, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I've I mean, you guys have seen the race. I don't think I ever did that to anyone. I did some audacious dives up the inside, but I don't think I was on a straight and then just turned across someone. So, hey ho, there you go. But thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this race. I'll try to do another one if you have enjoyed this. Let me know if you'd like me to do another SODI race, or maybe even a D-Max race. But we do have some BPET coming up soon, as well as some Club 100 in about a month's time. So I just thought it's been ages since I had posted out some karting content. So here we go. Yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. Follow here on YouTube, on TikTok, wherever. Send me money. Don't send me kisses. Bye. Have a good one.